welcome to another episode of the Do It For Yourself podcast. I am your host, Foxanne.
And I am your host, Laura, and this is a podcast for creatives by creatives.
This podcast is a mix of realness and feel-good vibes from your two new northern besties.
So today we've got a very, very special guest. We've got Sasha from Cheeky Zebra. Sasha, do you want to introduce yourself? Tell us about what you do, what your business is about.
Perfect. Hi, I'm Sasha. So I have a small business called Cheeky Zebra. We are the world's greatest card shop. That's just a fact. It's not me, anything that I would just say. Obviously, it's statistically proven we're the world's greatest card shop.
Yeah,
obviously.
Exactly.
We're a small family business. I sell cards for real life. You know, sometimes like I started like 3 or 4 years ago, and all the cards were like, they're just not very me. So our cards are quite sassy. They're cheeky. They're fun. They're kind, but not in like a nauseating way. I use my nanny, who is free labour. She's 72. I pay her absolutely nothing, and I call it like the Indian sweatshop.
That's my favourite part about your Instagram, Nanny.
She's so cute, isn't she? I think that pretty much sums us up, really. The best cards on the planet and a sweatshop.
Yeah.
I think this is setting a precedent for the rest of the podcast now. I'm already nearly crying.
Yeah, I just love it so much. So I do really, right. Firstly, let's talk about Nanny.
Okay,
what's it like?
Nanny.
What is it like working with Nanny? Is it as hilarious as it looks on your Instagram? Because I just want to be a fly on the wall.
No, I want to kill her on a day-to-day basis. And I'm pretty sure she feels the same about me. Like, it's murderous. She's incredible. She's so loving. She moved to the UK when she was like, basically she got married at 17, had an arranged marriage to my granddad, married him, and then he was like, we're starting a new life in the UK. And like she only went to school till she was like 15, and then she had to like come all the way here, learn English, worked in a factory, and then my granddad started travel agents up, and so she worked there. Then my granddad was the mayor for a bit, and she ended up being the mayoress, which is nuts.
Wait,
and
what?
I know.
Gloss over that.
So like she's just like this really insane life, and like she's gone from being like this really sheltered like woman, and now she's like, so obviously when she first came she was quite traditional, whereas now like she watches all the soaps, she watches Home and Away, she watches Neighbours, she talks about them like they're her friends. She's like she finds the things on the cards funny, because we've got some rude cards, and I'll be like, why are you laughing, do you understand them? She's like, do you think I was born yesterday? Like, she's so sassy.
Oh my god,
so funny.
The Valentine's Day ones, when you were you're videoing it,
outrageous. There was this one we sell, the worst one I think that it's one of our best sellers, is like True Love is Sleeping on the Wet Patch. I'm sorry too. And
it's okay.
It is what it is. And so then Nanny opened it the first time, and I caught her laughing. I was like, what are you giggling at? She's like, I'm not born yesterday. And I was like, you're just a bit horrified. I was like, okay. And that was like the end of our discussions on the matter.
Oh, honestly, it's so funny. And I love like your Nanny reactions, like when she reacts to the cards. And honestly, like Nanny, she's like your mascot, isn't she? Also, I need to ask you, Nanny for Employee of the Month. Did you create this?
Right, so
as a publicity stunt?
I absolutely wish. So every month I make myself Employee of the Month, because obviously I deserve it, and you know, I'm the only employee. So it was like a whole thing. Every month I'd be like, you know what, this month, who's it going to be? Ooh. And then obviously I'd started showing Nanny on my stories, and people were like, why doesn't Nanny get Employee of the Month? And I was like, does she work as hard as me though? No. And they would just kind of ask every so often, and I'd be like, no. And then one day I woke up, and there was, I think I must have said like, I'm going to do Employee of the Month again. And sorry, my voice. I drank too much last night. And so, I woke up, and then literally someone had made an Instagram account, I promise you it wasn't me, that said Nan for Employee of the Month. And then they just said Nan fan account, and it was like, we're for an army of people who believe that Nan should get what she deserves. Like we believe like she should get what she wants. I honestly, it was so good. It was really fun. They were really respectful, because I went to them in DMs and I was like, who are you? And they were like, I'm not going to tell you. And I was like, okay, but if you're going to do this, you have to be respectful at all times. Like, I need to know that you're not like a weirdo, because obviously it's my nanny. And when we established that it wasn't, I had a little meeting with my family to be like, are you guys okay with this? Because it's obviously an account that we don't know, like posting stuff. And then they were like, no, it's fine. So once I got like the all clear from the grandparents, I was like, live your life. But I went through my entire phone book, and it got really awkward because I started like messaging people, because I did law at uni, and the person who I was talking to was talking about contract, and some of the terms that he was saying were like law terms. So I was like going through people I haven't spoken to in like 5 years, being like, hi, how have you been? By the way, you didn't like just make an account about my grandma. They're like, who are you? I don't even remember who you are. It was so mortifying. I'm just there because, you know, when you're like, I just needed to know who it was. It was driving me absolutely nuts.
So do you still not know who it is? Or?
No, I do know. I do know who it is now. It's nobody, like, it's a customer basically. They're not even from the UK, which is crazy. They're a customer from when we had international orders on. They're really funny, but I promised that I wouldn't say who they are. So like, no one would know who they are anyway. But yeah, so I don't like really chat to them much about it. They just do their thing.
I love it. I love it so much.
Yeah.
It's so funny. It like brings like an extra
really
layer to your business as well. Like, I feel like if you had done that, that would have been a great move. Well, someone did it for you, and now you don't have to.
Better.
Yeah, now you don't have to do it. So
what hit me about like running a business? Well, yeah, exactly. But one of the things that really hit me was like, I wanted to stop trying to build a business. Obviously I want to build a business and I want to make a shitload, like loads of money, but I kind of realized like, oh, if I just build a community and I just put effort in, then it would just sort itself out. And so like when I switched to kind of like just focusing, because my Instagram didn't used to be very good, and then when I decided to start like just showing up and being myself and just like building a community, then like that stuff just took care of itself.
Oh yeah, and you really have done so well with building a community. Like, your customers are all engaged, and I feel like because you're like the face of your brand, and there's such a buzz around your brand, everyone will always come back to you anyway, like no matter what.
I hope so. I really hope so. But like, also it's just fun. It's like a lot more fun this way. And like, I kind of talk, like, you know how you guys started this podcast, like, we're your Northern Besties, because you mean it, right? You can just tell that energy is like, that is just legit. You just talk and you're friends and we have a chat. And that's kind of how I wanted like Cheeky Zebra to be. Like, you're just buying from your friend.
That's it as well. I find when you do build a community, rather than sell, people buy into you rather than your products, which I think then if your products are amazing, they're like, oh, this is just
that's a bonus
as well.
Yeah. They're not going to buy if your products are crap regardless, but everyone and their dog has a card company at the moment. Like, every year, like, people have more and more card companies, and like, you know, people rip off our designs and like, it just happens. And then I realised like the only way, but I don't even get upset because it's going to happen to everyone at a certain point. Like, once your design's been there long enough, it is what it is. So then I'm like, oh, okay, the only thing that's going to differentiate us is like us.
Yeah,
and you can't replace that. Nobody can replicate that.
So that's just got to lean into like,
you
know how everyone's like brand, and it can feel a bit wanky, but it's like, oh wait, no, that is the difference. That's literally the only way we're going to win, is if we just make it as us as possible. So yeah, that's kind of. But do you guys find the same thing? Like, that's what makes the difference?
Yeah, because like you said, there's so many card companies out there, and there's so many big corporate card companies out there, but the difference between you and them is you. They don't necessarily have a face. They have the money and the expertise, but who are you buying from? You don't actually know.
Yeah, who designed this card? I don't know.
Are they being paid fairly?
Yeah, Hallmark.
Well,
who designed
I'll be
this
honest.
card?
It's not like Nanny's being paid fairly, guys. She's not being paid anything. Someone asked me once, she was like,
she's doing it out of the goodness of her heart.
She does it for love. It's vile. Someone goes to me, she was like, if you were £1 million business, would you pay Nanny? I was like, no. God, like, why? No, absolutely not.
Why not?
Like, just, if she doesn't want money now, why should she get it then? Like, it makes no sense. Like, her position shouldn't change.
Well, yeah, that's true, actually. She didn't want it now.
Yeah, then she would just be being like a gold digging gran. You don't want that. No.
Nobody wants a gold digging gran. Wow.
No.
I agree.
She's like, honestly, she's so generous. It's nuts. The other day we went to London and we were just on the train, and she was like, go get yourself a sandwich. I was like, I'll get it. She's like, no, when you're with me you don't pay for anything. And then she gave me £20. I was like, how much do you think a sandwich is? How much do you think a sandwich
Well, you are in London.
That's what she goes. She goes, we are in London. I was like, do you want the change? She goes, no. She got really cross, and I just find her so funny. She's so generous, but so sweet, but just so mental. No, she's just adorable and savage. Like, we were playing cards on the train, and she put down like an 8 of hearts or something, and she goes, oh, look, Sasha, you don't have one of these. As in, like, I don't have art. As in, like, I'm flawless. And, like,
I love that.
she's so quick. And it just, honestly, she just said it really loud in front of this packed train. We're just sitting there playing cards. She's like, ah! And I couldn't. She really, really kills me.
Oh my God, I love Nan. She's not with you now, is she?
No, she's not. I would have brought her on. I'm going to go see her in a bit. I know. Literally no one cares about seeing me. We got somebody sent us some cookies for their small business. And I was like, because they'd been following us for a while, they just started a bakery business. I was like, yeah, send it through and I'll share about it. And so she sent us some custom cookies and I opened it live on Insta and I was so excited, like, oh, this is the first time we've ever had anything, #influencer. And then I opened the cookie and then I'm reading it out and it said Nanny for Employee of the Month. The way in which my face just went, what? I was like,
I love it.
That's so funny. Also, with obviously, we'll go into the fact that you went viral and now you're TikTok viral.
Yeah, we
sensation,
are TikTok famous.
Very famous
I'm
brand.
a big deal. Yeah.
But when you did, I think it was last month's Employee of the Month. The picture of you with your heart sunglasses on, and then you wrote, "Not Nan. Did you go viral, hon?"
Yeah.
That literally, I laughed out loud. Yeah.
No, but legit, that's how I feel. Like, did she go viral?
Yeah.
No.
I guess she didn't know. Maybe she will do one day, and then will she get?
Maybe she will. Maybe she'll get some sunglasses, and it depends how viral we go. Maybe she can get Employee of the Month. But I just don't see her. Maybe, but the thing is, you can't give her everything, or she won't work hard.
Well, also,
Right, okay.
she's technically not an employee; she's a volunteer. So
Yeah, that's what she always says. So when she's like, I'm like, do you want to be Employee of the Month? She goes, I'm not employed by you anyway. I don't need your money. I'm like, no one's trying to give you money. It's okay. She's like, I do this because I want to. I could stop doing this tomorrow. I'm like, I know.
Oh, bless her. Oh my God, I love her so
Nanny.
much.
So
Thank you so much for sharing that. I think everyone's going to love hearing that. So, let's talk about the TikTok viral sensation. What was it like?
Yes.
Are you feeling amazing? Like, can you walk down the street? Can you go into Sainsbury's without anybody noticing you? Like, do you have to go in,
With a cap on.
With a cap on and sunglasses.
No, things have
sunglasses.
changed dramatically. I have to wear the sunglasses all the time now. You know what it's like, just people coming up to me constantly.
Wow.
I can't leave my house. It's actually been really difficult, but people just don't really acknowledge like how horrible it's been. Do you know what's funny? Is no one knows who the fuck I am, but two, the only things that went viral were my hands, so it wasn't even my face. So
but
I'm
you've
a
got
viral
beautiful
sensation.
hands.
I've got excellent hands, but I have famous hands. I should probably get them insured now, actually. But it was literally all that went viral. What I found that works for us, and it'll be different for different people, but us just opening the cards and like talking about them tends to do really well. But it was really helpful for my business because we were struggling. Like, we relied heavily on Facebook ads, and then Facebook ads fell off a cliff. And it got to Valentine's Day and Facebook ads, I would say, was like 80% of my revenue, and I was like, shit. And so thank God I just tried TikTok and whacked some stuff out there, and some miracle 1 or 2 of them went viral. But it made me realise that for me to be able to figure out this business and make it sustainable, it means I'm just going to have to put all my efforts into TikTok, where I was putting all of that effort into and it just made me realise it's so important to do all of the organic stuff. It's because sometimes it can feel a bit like, why am I going to bother putting all this time into Instagram when I need to sell a lot of cards for it to be it can sometimes feel like I'm not going to sell anywhere near enough. But when I stopped thinking like that, it's made such a difference. So I think doing because I used to just think because I used to coast on ads, I was like, you don't really need to do all of that stuff, you can just do ads. And it's like, oh no, because eventually it's going to break, which is what happened to me. So I had to learn, not the fun way, but I learned okay, so I have to just put all my effort into my organic. I have to take TikTok seriously. And I know no one loves TikTok, but I feel if you're watching this and you're not taking TikTok seriously, please take it seriously.
I don't at all.
You have to.
It stresses me out, TikTok, because there's so much. This is it. With Instagram, it's a certain type of person, but TikTok, people are mean. People are
God, yeah.
Did you get any hate?
You wanted to ask about this? Oh yeah, people are savages. I mean, realistically, all I show is my cards, so it's not. I mean, I've tried now to show more of my face and show more of our small business. But I know people on TikTok don't care. They come because they find the cards funny. They don't care about us right now. Okay. But I'm still doing it, and over time, like, I might figure that part out. But yeah, I got some comments like, these cards are shit, should have gone to Sainsbury's. And I was like, what? I mean, it was only one. And she was like, not being nasty, just giving you feedback. I was like, oh, I mean, thanks. And then
feedback is shit. That's not good feedback.
Yeah, I put this on my story yesterday, actually. I was like, also, if you start a sentence with no offence, but just stop talking.
You're about just don't talk, because you're about to say some stupid fuckery. But do you know what? I'm not very easily offended, so I'm just not bothered. Like, what are they going to say? That I exploit my gran? I do. Or like, you know, I don't look a bit, or like,
wear it on your chest.
Yeah, like, what are you gonna say? Or like, if they say something about how I look physically, which hasn't happened yet, but I'm sure, like, because I've seen how mean TikToks can be, I'm like, cool, like, I think I'm a snack. Like, no one's gonna be able to say anything that's gonna, like, upset me, and you can always block them and whatever. But I really didn't want to do it at first, because when I was doing TikTok, I thought, like, you had to do all of this, like, find a trend and lip sync, and that was going to be the only way that it, like, took off. And it just, even the thought of it just made me feel like,
yeah, it is annoying having to lip sync.
Yeah, all of it just made me think, this is so much effort. And then I managed to find a way that we could showcase what we do that's really low effort. And one of the weirdest things is, I found my low effort videos do the best. So
they seem more authentic, don't they, I think, rather than
I don't know if that's, so I would say, like, even if you hate TikTok, maybe just get into the habit of just recording your day to day, like, whenever you're just doing shit. So now if I'm, like, in the office sweatshop, I'll just, like, get my phone out, record a bit of what we do, and then I've got, like, it is a sweatshop, and then it's like a sweatshop that you just shouldn't feel guilty about. It's like a sweatshop you should feel okay supporting. But yeah, I think if I just, like, I don't know if you guys do any of this, but just recording bits of your day to day, and then it makes it a little bit easier. Then if I ever do decide to do something, I've got a bank of content.
Yeah, great idea.
I think that's it. I think it's because I'm such a perfectionist, because my illustrations have to be perfect in my mind. Then when I put out video content, I feel like I overthink it, because I'm like, this needs to look really, really good, because I'm a very visual person. So then when I spend so much effort on making something look good, and it gets like 3 views on TikTok, I'm like, there's no point in me doing this. What even is the point?
But all you need is one viral video, don't you, Sasha?
That's what you have to always think. Is like, because I was the same as you, and I'd do them and I'd be like, just what's the point? And even when my Facebook ads fallen off a cliff, I was like, why am I going to bother with this TikTok stuff? I'm too busy crying about how much money I'm not making. Like, I don't have time to do TikToks. And then that's all it did go viral.
When it comes to Facebook ads, did you do them yourself, or did you have somebody else to do them?
I hired somebody. Her name's Carly Stringer. She's incredible, but I don't know if she still does them. But she's been amazing. And when I realised that she couldn't get them to work, I was like, no one's going to be able to get them to work.
What was it? People just weren't clicking on them?
So basically I've been doing like, I used ads for like 3-4 years, and like every season I would just bang it through. Last Valentine's Day I think we did 1,000 orders a day just through ads, which which is honestly insane. Obviously my margins were a lot thinner because the ads are expensive, but it allowed me to make, like, to scale in a way that there was no way I would have been able to do it. So what happened this Valentine's Day is 2 things. Facebook increased their prices, so the cost is a lot more expensive, and when you're a business like mine where it's only a $3.99 product and the margin's so tight as it is, it destroyed us a bit. And also, people aren't on Facebook and Instagram like they used to be before the pandemic. Everyone's on TikTok now. So the audience just wasn't there, and it was such a hard thing to swallow, especially like when your granddad's looking at the fact that you've got like 30,000 boxes in the office. Yeah, and you're just like, it's fine guys, it's gonna be fine. So yeah, that was kind of like why the Facebook ads stopped working. I think it was a combination of them increasing their prices, people not being there, and obviously it's difficult because I thought, like, I've figured out my business formula now. I just like we all kill ourselves 3 times a year, and then throughout the rest of the year it's pretty steady. But not anymore.
Wow.
TikTok.
Yeah. Well, I guess like that's always going to happen. We're always going to be learning, and like obviously, fingers crossed we're still doing this in 10 years, there's going to be another thing. Like, technology just changes, doesn't it? And we're going to have to, like, change
we have
things
to
up.
adapt.
Yeah, adapt.
Yeah, I think that's the sad truth, is that we do have to adapt. But, like, also, the best thing happened is that I did some maths and I was like, do you know what? If I can get my organic sales, so instead of it being we're going to do 1,000 orders a day for 2 weeks and we're all going to kill ourselves for 3 weeks or whatever it is, if I can consistently do like 100 orders a day or 200 orders a day throughout the year, I'd make the same, but without spending the money on ads.
Amazing.
And I was like, yeah, or I could probably make more. So even if I did 100 orders a day, but we didn't use ads, I'd make just as much as I did when we were using ads. And when I realised that, I was like, oh, so I don't have to chase this big, huge number if I'm not wasting like a big chunk of it on ad spend. So I can actually make just as much with less orders if I just work really hard on like organic stuff. So that has been like the biggest game changer for me, I think.
How much, obviously answer this if you want to, how much do you think you spent last year on Facebook ads?
No, it's not that way I want to tell you. I'm just trying to maths it.
Even if it's just a rough number.
Not this financial year, last financial year. So not this Valentine's Day, last Valentine's Day. 40 grand.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my
Maybe
god.
40.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna fall off my chair.
Are you guys okay? But wait.
I think I just need a breather, one sec.
That's so much money.
Wait. Everyone always says this to me. And I'm like, and then everyone thinks I'm really rich. I'm not. But basically, got to think about it this way. What I used to say to my ads ladies, if we're getting it, whenever it works, so we needed a ROAS of 4. So if we got a ROAS of 4, I'd make, I don't know, just under £1 or something. I can't remember what it is, like 70p or I can't remember. I think, yeah, at that point, we would make it like 70p or £1 an order. So I was like, if we can get a ROAS of 4, then if we're at 4, spend as much as you want. Because I know that even though I'm having to spend all that money, I'm getting £1 of my own for every bit we spend. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
So because I
basically what
knew-
you made, you put it back into the ads, a lot of it.
Yeah, so basically every time, like, so say we did, say we had 1,000 orders a day. This is nuts. I can't. So then our average order value is £6,000 or something. Is £6. So that would be £6,000 coming in on that day. So of that £6,000, I didn't care because obviously we didn't make £6,000. Of that £6,000, say we made 1, and then off that 1, these numbers aren't true. Off that 1, I was very fine for her to spend 500 of it on ads to get the same thing the next day. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it isn't like I just had 40 grand in my bank and I was like, hey, let's chuck all this. That's not what happened. It's more just like every time the money came in, we would just chuck it back into the ads over that season. And then at the end, you'd look back and be like, okay, over this period, we've spent like X amount on ads.
Wow. That's so
But
interesting.
does that make sense?
I love that.
I'm not just... I don't just have like a vault of cash. That's definitely not what's going on.
Throwing gold at Facebook.
Yeah, just gold. And I would be very honest to say, like, this financial year, so last financial year was the best of our business. We did insanely well. This year, I'll be lucky to do a quarter of it. But I feel like this has been a really good educational year because now I know, like, we're not doing the ads. We're going to focus on our organic. And I think I'm hoping that next financial year will be even better than our best year, but without relying on ads. That's the hope. Yeah.
This is it as well. I can't remember who I was speaking to this about, is if social media went down today, touch wood it doesn't, what would I do moving forward? So now I'm in the process of having things in place, like newsletters, like, because I remember seeing something, the only thing that you are completely in control of is newsletters. You have people's emails and that's it. So now I'm going to try and start doing more newsletter things because I've seen so many big accounts get accidentally deactivated and stuff like that. So it's so scary.
No, it's terrifying. It is terrifying because that happened to Emma at Bowtie. Like, she lost her entire Instagram account, and it was. But then she built back, and then she started showing her face because she didn't before, and it ended up being the best thing for her. But like, stuff like that scares me too. But I would say that I've done the same this year. Like, with everything going to shit, it's kind of taught me, like, I need an email list, I need TikTok, I need to do on Instagram, I need to, like, but it's actually worked. It's that thing where it all just sounds a bit like, shut up, at least it felt like that for me, you know, and everyone was like, you need this and you need that and you need this, and I just felt a bit exhausted by it.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like, I've got a list of things that I need to do. I need to do TikTok, I need to do this, I need to do that. Like, I need to add new prints to my website. 2 months later, I finally done it. Like, but it's like, you don't want to do it, do you? Because it's like, oh, it's too much.
But there's these accounts. So I've currently gone through and unfollowed a lot of, and I hate to say this, but business help accounts. Because I was scrolling down my feed, and instead of seeing things that spark joy in me, I was seeing, here's how to get your reel to go viral, here's how you do this, here's how you do that, and it was so intense, and I was getting it from all these different angles, and the way that like people were speaking about it, and it was like, I have so much to do because things take time. Social media is also a full-time job, and you're making me feel bad about not succeeding. So, but now there's a few of them that I've kind of twigged on to the way that I think, where they kind of come at it from a different angle, to be like, you do what you feel comfortable with, however, here's things that you can do to when you've got time, rather than this big sell. Because the issue I've got as well, this might be a very hot take, a very controversial.
Oh, I love a hot take. Go.
But a lot of the social media accounts that are like, here's how to grow your account. You've only grown your account because you're selling false promises to people who want to grow their account. So it's kind of like an oxymoron, and it doesn't like add up. And I think that's it. It's like, oh, well, this person's telling me how I can grow my account because they've grown their account to over 100k. Yeah, because they're selling you a dream.
Easy niche.
That's why.
Yeah,
it's like a weird MLM a little bit.
It's like all
oh
educational.
my God, I felt this. I'm so glad you said this, because I felt this for a while. Like, quite a few people in this space that do like this. Because there are some people that I think are genuinely incredible who I follow and get a lot from. But there's everyone. If I started an account tomorrow, I would get an audience fairly quickly if my content was, here's how to go viral overnight, here's how to do this, here's how to do this. And I would quite easily get a big, and also what I've noticed is a lot of people who used to do Etsy courses, like how to grow your Etsy business, they now do how to launch a passive income course and teach people. And what they want to do is to teach people how to go viral. They're like, here's what you should do. The money in now is in teaching people how to go viral. Yeah. And it just feels a little bit snake oily.
It is, because if everybody got this information, let's say how to teach people to go viral, like, let's say 10,000 people took this course. There isn't enough room on the internet for all those 10,000 people to go viral.
But it's also like contradictory information as well. Like, I would scroll down my feed and it'd be like, here's what to do, and then the one underneath being like, here's not what to do, and it'd be the same
Oh my
things.
Lord.
So it is hard, and I do think that those accounts do have a place, and the people who run them work really, really hard, and they're very knowledgeable. But social media is so fickle that one thing you do in one day, the next day it might not work. So like your whole thing, you can't really keep up to it, and what might work for you might not work for somebody else.
You just got to do what you want to do and hope for the best.
I remember seeing something actually where there was like, if your Instagram isn't growing, it's not the algorithm, your content's just shit. And it's like, what?
Thanks for making me feel like shit then.
What do you mean? But yeah, no, that was my little hot take, and I've been thinking this for a while.
I enjoyed that
feel,
hot take.
I feel super nervous about saying it because I don't want all these people to come after me being like,
no one's gonna come at you. You've not said anything like outrageous, and also that you've also said there are a lot of people who aren't doing that, who are doing it in a much more like sustainable way, and they just like show up for yourself and talk to the camera, and like, that's different.
Because I do think that helps. Showing up for yourself does help, and there are, like I said, there are a place for it. But when you're being absolutely hounded on the feed by the constant, here's how to go viral, and if your content's not working, it's shit. It's just like, I don't kind of need that negativity in my life, so I've just started unfollowing them now to be like, no, I'll check in when I want to check in.
Well, that's what you're supposed to do, right? Your feed's supposed to serve you, not like bully you.
Yeah.
Although,
people on
yeah, you wouldn't actively select people. Although, do you know, it's funny you say that. I'm a bit the opposite. Like, sometimes I respond well to being bullied. So, like I'll keep those things. Yeah, like, you know, if like someone said your content's shit, like, I would just feel a bit like, yeah, tell me off, I'll work hard. Like, I need that, so I'm not going to do any work. Like, I'm just quite like that. Well, but I think, equally, I go through phases where I'm feeling like, I have days where I'm like, my content's shit, everyone hates me, your business, like, you know, just those things that everyone has. So I think it depends for me, like, what mood I'm in. But I also think that because, like, the people around me are so savage, like, Nanny's quite savage, my mum's quite, I think I like, respond quite well to that energy, otherwise I don't do anything.
I love that you, like, hide your Lucasades. What's this about?
Oh, yeah. So basically, I have a PT who, he's actually, like, he's good. He's very, like, he is savage, but he's not mean. He's savage because I told him, like, I want to eat less sugar because I'm scared of getting diabetes, and I want to, like, so I told him these things. And so all he wants to do is to get me to do the things that I wanted to do. But sometimes he doesn't realise that I don't really want to do them. I just said it. Like, I know deep down I want to, but I don't. So every time now when I'm having, like, Lucozade and sugar, I just hide them from my stories because I can't be arsed.
I love it.
Which
I love it.
Probably isn't very healthy, but I just can't be bothered. So I'll go
Sometimes
see
you've
him
got to
and
do
be
what
like,
you want to do. And if you need a Lucozade that day, get yourself a Lucozade. You're working hard.
I need a
you know what I
Lucozade.
mean? You're going viral.
This is what I tried to say. He doesn't understand. I did try to say to him, I was like, I'm going viral. And he's like, I don't understand what that has to do with your sugar consumption. And I was like, what?
Well, as long as
I just
you
thought,
know.
I was like, yeah, I was like, it just sounds like a you problem. But like, yeah, so I just it's easier for both. We're both happier when he's hidden from my stories, I think.
Yeah. So, Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Absolutely smashed Valentine's Day. That's when you went viral. Did you get a lot of sales from the Valentine's Day viral situation?
Yeah, I'll just be like, I try to be as honest as possible. So, because I just think, like, if I was listening, that's the kind of stuff I want to know. We went viral on 2 videos, I think, or 3, that hit kind of like 1 million or close to 1 million.
That's so
but
cool.
one of them went viral in America, which is so irritating because we don't do American shipping at the moment since Brexit. We're going to turn it back on, but even if we had it on, it wouldn't have arrived to those people for Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
So I would say over the whole period of Valentine's Day, we did about $7,000 in sales from TikTok, which I would very much take, because obviously for me to have done $7,000 in sales, if I would done ads, I would have had to pay, like, I don't know, but 20% of that to Facebook or whatever. So that was all ours, which was that's when I was like, oh, okay, this is what I need to do. And you got to remember as well, like, $7,000 is a hell of a lot of cards.
Yeah, because I remember seeing, like, all these postal bags filled to the brim with the cheeky zebra cards, and I was like,
yeah, it
wow.
was nuts.
Amazing.
But that was a combination of Facebook ads, going viral on TikTok, all of our organic, because we still did Facebook ads for Valentine's Day. They just didn't perform. Like, it just almost wasn't worth the extra work we were doing to fulfill those orders for how much money they were bringing in. It was like, it almost wasn't worth the killing ourselves for just that much money. Like, it didn't make sense. But to do $6,000 and not in sales, and me not to have done anything but a 7-second video is insanity.
It's so cool. You need to keep doing them.
I would
you
say,
get viral.
so I just keep chucking them. Yeah, just keep going viral, babe. I keep doing them, but I would say, like, if you have gone viral or you've had one video that went well, like, don't worry about it, because my second video, 300 views sometimes. 100 views if I'm lucky, and then some, like I did one yesterday, 6,000 views. Like, I'm getting a lot better at not caring. I now almost say to myself, just bang them out and don't think about it. So I almost don't invest in the outcome. My goal is just, I've got to get 10 up. I don't care whether they're good or well received or whatever. That's, like, not my problem. My problem is just, like, getting the content out.
10 a day then? 10 TikToks a day?
No, that was a goal when I was like, it's going to be, I was like, oh, just do 10 a day because it's Mother's Day. And then I was like, 1, I can't do that. It's going to make me cry. And 2, like, I've got enough cards, but I just felt like I was going to irritate everyone. And now I'm trying to do about 4 a day, 5 a day, but that's only because it's Mother's Day and it's very easy. It is literally me opening a card or doing, like, here's our top 3 Mother's Day cards, or here, who would you give this to? So it's like, I don't think it's a fair comparison because it's just the workload is so much easier.
Yeah.
I found a way to make it really simple. Like, so, but my goal, I think, after, I just want to get this Mother's Day gone, and then I want to have some time to just properly plan the business and figure out, do you guys feel like this? Like, you just want some time to actually figure out your plan, but you don't have time because you're constantly in the day-to-day.
Yeah.
I think, So I wanted to take time to kind of think and rejig and what. So my business was solely pink and red. That was what it was. I was a product-based business. I did client work on the side, but that was just something that I did on the side. I never really showcased anything. And then I realised that as an illustrator, when your colour palette is stripped down to 2 colours, I was losing the flow and I couldn't really get my creativity like flowing, and I was hating what I was doing. So I decided to kind of rejig and just be like, right, I'm going to make something for me now instead of making it for everybody else. And then my external hard drive corrupted and I lost 1 terabyte worth of work, and like all my past client work, all my portfolios, everything. But I have taken that as a restart. So now I've started from scratch. I'm getting a brand new website. I've taken this time, which I think the universe works in mysterious ways, that I've taken this time of having less client work to be able to build up what I want to do. And usually, because I'm one of those people where if I can't do a job in under like 4 hours, I don't want to do it because it takes too long and my attention span is absolutely nothing. Whereas this website, I've been working on this website now for 2 months, and every time I go on it I'm like, this is amazing, like this is so good. And it's
because you've
let me,
rejigged.
and it's like, I feel like I'm starting afresh but still with a nice following as well.
Do you know what? You can hear like the excitement when you talk about it.
So
and
excited.
you find that once you're like excited about something, everyone else can feel your excitement about it, and it just does better because your energy's just better.
Well, this is it as well. And like I was saying this on my story on Instagram, that I started Foxanne because I am Foxanne, and it was just somewhere that I showcased my art while I was in uni. And then it kind of progressed into getting client work and selling products and things like that. But then because the more clients I were getting and the more traction that my account was gaining and the more followers I was getting, I felt like slowly this professional wall was going up. So I weren't showing up on my stories as much, because I used to like rant about things on my stories, or I used to check in about my mental health because I'm big on like mental health, and that's what my account was. And I kind of steered away from that because it was vulnerable. I feel like the more, obviously I've not got like a massive account, but 13,000 people to me is insane. Like that's a lot of people.
Yeah,
and I felt like I was
that's a huge amount of people
putting my barriers up and being like, oh no. But whereas the other day I kind of went on and I was like, I just need to go back to what I was doing before, and what sparked more joy. And I think showing up and being myself, and if people don't like it, they can unfollow me, and that's their loss because I'm a great person. So
She is.
yeah, it's very much a them problem, of course.
So, yeah, I feel like I need to show up more. I'm starting to now. Yeah, so we had an episode with Illustrated by Charlie, and she was saying, you just need to be more open, because I have been a little bit, and she was like, that was great. So I've been trying to more, like, just having a chat, and hopefully, like,
How
I can
did
go
you
viral
find
like
it?
you, Sasha. All right. I'm not bothered anymore now. I'm just like, Aya,
Yeah,
here's my cat.
I think that's the content I enjoy the most, when people are just like, Aya, how you doing? Da da da, this is what we're doing. Da da da.
Yeah. I just added nice Twix. I don't know where that came from.
It personalises people, and I think there's a lot of accounts where I've kind of steered away from, because I'm like, I don't really know who's running this account, I don't really know them, I don't really know what I'm buying into. Whereas now I show a lot of, like, I have a dog called Luna who comes to the studio with me, and I show a lot of her. People are like, oh my god, I love the Luna content, and I'm like, I will use my dog to get views. I'm okay with this. She costs me
Whether
nothing
it's a
vet
dog.
bills.
Yeah, that's like a fair exchange. It's the least you could do, really.
Exactly.
100%. So what are you thinking for your rejig then? Like, what's your plan? Or have you not worked that plan out just yet?
I have a little bit, I think, but not fully. I'm a little bit burnt out, if I'm honest. Like Christmas, and then it's Valentine's Day, and then it's Mother's Day. This year, I had a week to do a whole Mother's Day range, which is nuts. And I had like 200 cards in total. Like, you know what, I think about it sometimes I think I'm the laziest girl in the world, and then sometimes I think I'm like the hardest working girl in the world, because I have phases. Like, I'm very like, I'll leave it to last minute, and when I'm working hard, like, I will work like a machine, and then I'll just like do nothing for like I'll spend days in bed. So it's like that. But like I now I've said that, I'm like, you know what, Sasha, yeah, my work rate is pretty high, like I would say, in terms of, or has been, like,
cards in a week.
Wow. This is what I wanted to know. Do you get all your cards printed before the sales come out? Or do you get them printed as the sale comes in?
Yeah, so no, we print in-house every day, so that's how I can offer 200 cards, because I'm not holding 200 pieces of stock. So basically, yeah, so it allows us, like, that's why I want to have cards for everything, because I can afford to just make a card that's only going to appeal to 5 people. because
Yeah.
we print it each morning. And
That's
I say
great.
my granddad does the printing, if I'm honest.
I love that so much. What a
I'm
family
just being honest.
business. You weren't
I
lying when you
don't-
said
I
you're a
don't-
family business.
No, we're an actual sweatshop. Like, my granddad does the printing. We argue all the time about ink and like where I'm buying stuff from, and like sometimes he'll just go off and buy a printer without even telling me and be like, I've decided that this is what you needed, and I'll be like, fantastic.
Oh, look that.
That's so cute. Also, you know,
I mean,
you
it sounds cute. It's not. Like, it's really like there's a lot of anger and screaming and shouting.
I would honestly love to be a fly on the wall. I love it so much.
Honestly, we're all a bit scared of granddad.
One thing I was just going to say as well was when you were saying about Mother's Day, right? Mum, mom, mam.
I can't be arsed.
Are you not
I
tired?
can't be arsed. Honestly, I've got to the point now, people ask me, it's like I get a lot of banter and people be like, I call my mum this, and I'll just be like, respectfully, fuck off, I'm doing that. And I'll actually just respond that. Like, I've started publicly responding on my stories. If this girl keeps messaging, she goes, I call my mum mumsy, and I'll be like, respectfully, X, fuck off. And then she messaged me later, she goes, I call my aunt auntie, and I was like, you're lying. She goes, I am. I'm like, for God's sake. So basically, I asked people like so I made their Mother's Day range, and it was like a week before, because I was already behind. People are already like buying cards for Mother's Day, because some people are super organized and some people it hasn't even occurred to them. And the people that are super organized, they were like, where are our cards? Like, I want to buy now, sort of thing. And I was like, okay, like the range is coming, it's coming, but because I didn't want them to buy what we already had, because I knew better stuff was coming. So I was like, just leave it with me. So I spent ages, made the whole range, so proud of myself, because I genuinely think like it's one of the best I've ever done. Like, it's like visually, it's 70s, I think it looks really cool. Then I've launched it, so excited, and then I got messages like, you know, in Birmingham we say MOM, and I was like, because the person who messages me, she's always like saying some kind of nonsense. So I said to her like, this is just more of your nonsense, like, oh, haha, like, lol. And then somebody else messaged me, and I was like, what? And then more, and then I googled it, and I was like, oh, for God's sake. And then people were like, mum. So people in Birmingham say MOM, but I'm not saying it right. And then people obviously say mam in Newcastle and stuff, I think. And then somebody from Liverpool was like, we call our mum ma. And I was like, I'm done. And so I literally went back over like 100 designs. I stayed up till God knows what time, and like made options. And the thing is, I do it all myself, so I have to do the website myself. I have to update all the variations, update all the product codes, create product images. It's not just like some easy
200
thing.
cards.
And like, I didn't do all 200. In the end, I decided if you've got a stepmom, you're just gonna have to call us MUM, because I can't be asked. It got to that point where I was like, I'm done. But yeah, and I was just like, yeah, I'm like, literally just turn it into an O. But like, I did kind of say to them, I was like, what other card shop gives a fuck about you like we do? Like, who's done this?
Well, that's what stands you out from the rest. Do you know what I mean?
Myself.
Hallmark,
but I do feel a
they're
bit
not bothered.
traumatised from it now. What do you guys call your mum?
MUM.
Yeah, mum.
Yeah, because we're normal people. I was just like, had enough. I've just had enough.
But like, I don't know, like, mom in Birmingham, if they would have got their mom a card that said mum.
No, but
is it really
say
that
with
bad?
a Birmingham accent though?
Mom.
Well, I tried this.
That's not Birmingham.
Okay,
that's
I don't know what that was. I tried to do this on my stories, and I just stressed everybody out. In fact, when I went live, I did a live last night, and we did like Mother's Day QVC. We were selling our Mother's Day cards, and I got really drunk actually. But this girl, one of our customers, she came on because she's from Birmingham, and she was trying to teach me how to say it. So she would just say how she would say it, and I would just say mum, because I'm pretty sure that's just what I heard. And I was just, so she would be like mom, and I would just be like mum, and I'd just be saying the same thing, and I think it went on for about a good 3 minutes, and it was just me saying the same thing back.
Drinking game, everyone take a shot every time Sasha says mum.
Yeah, mum.
Oh, I love it.
I'm going to I can't do it. It's just, I don't know how they pronounce it, because when I first saw it, it sounded American. You know how Americans say it?
Yeah.
That's what I was hearing in my head.
Yeah. Americans were the only ones that said mom.
Whereas when you put like an American accent and a Brummie accent, they're very different things.
Yeah.
And so I can't hear it in my head. But yeah, apparently that's the thing.
Well, congratulations. You've done amazing there. I really appreciate your enthusiasm for Mother's Day. I really do. The boxes of envelopes.
Oh my Lord.
I love this fiasco. So update us. How many boxes have you got left? And how many did you order? Because I looked at that picture and I thought, oh my God, It's outrageous.
I think I ordered 500.
Boxes.
And each box has 100 envelopes. So that's like 50,000 envelopes. Can you see them behind me? They're like in my bedroom. Look.
Oh my god!
They've got. Everywhere. They're literally everywhere. They're like, I swear sometimes I go to sleep, they multiply.
How big was the truck?
Massive. Oh my god. And imagine I didn't really give my granddad notice because I was too scared. So he just rocked up.
So you're right. So your office, right? It's the second. Is it above your family's business?
So my granddad has a travel agent that's like dead now, so they do a bit of like visa stuff. I don't know. He does a lot of stuff. And then upstairs, they let me have a room. I rent basically a room and a bit upstairs. I say rent like I pay the internet bill and I pay something else, like I pay a few bits. Yeah. It's not like, and but also to be fair, it's a very hazardous working condition. So if I was paying, like, you wouldn't pay for it. It's not safe. Like, my granddad does all the electrics himself. Like, everything looks like it's on the brink of just exploding. Everything is in extension leads. I do show it on my story sometimes, but like I get scared that someone's going to report us because like everything is like dodgy extension. Well. Yeah, it's just extension lead into extension lead into extension lead. Something breaks, you're like, granddad. He's like, I'll fix it later, and you're just like,
oh my god.
We've
also
got,
the
like,
CD rack on the wall. I love that.
Yeah, so my granddad has CD racks that he put up on the room because he was a bedroom a long time ago, and so he's put these CD racks on the walls so he could home all his CDs, but he doesn't even have a CD player. And so I'm like, I can't be arsed. And like, I also think, imagine if you're a new customer, you don't know us, and you just think, what the fuck is this? Because you just see me packing orders, and there's like CD racks on the walls. There's like this giant fuck off like neon fluorescent light bulb that's the only bit of light that we've got like on the thing, and it's way too big for the socket, and it looks absolutely nuts. It does nothing. You turn it on and it adds no value.
Oh.
And it's just like, and then like I've got an old laptop that he like cut in half and like mounted onto the wall and linked to a new screen, and he just it's actually just chaos.
I love that so much. I love it.
We had all these bloody envelope boxes, and I was
so where did you? So you had to obviously take these up the stairs as well.
So no, they came right. So I got the delivery to my house because I was like, "There's no way I'm telling Granddad about this. It's easier to like ruin my mum and my auntie's life." So that came, and so we put all the ones we could in the house, which are now behind me, and then all the rest we slowly took to the office in like little trips of like 50. And then eventually I just had to tell him, and he was like, why did you do that? And I was like, the thing is based on how our ads went, it made sense at the time. Like, I thought we would have gone through them really quickly. It wasn't actually like me being an idiot, but obviously you try and explain that to an Asian granddad, you can't. The answer is always, you're an idiot. So I was just like, oh, there was just a really good deal on boxes, because there was no point me trying to explain to him that I thought we were going to do 1,000 a day, because he's like, well, you're not doing 1,000 a day, so you thought wrong. So I was just like, no, it was just a really good deal.
How much was
if you buy them all.
If you don't mind me asking?
I can't remember. I think an envelope for us is like, let me work it out, maybe like 10p or something. So if that's what's good. That? I think I got them for like 10 or 12p. So what's 12p times 50,000? And then you can add that.
50,000, bloody hell. 50,000. Do you know what though? You don't have to buy any for a long time. I love it.
Well, no, I hope not. I don't want that attitude. I'm hoping I don't have to buy any, and then like for 3 months, and then they're all gone.
$6,000?
That's what I tell myself. Yeah, apparently. There we go. It's alright.
I'm looking at your calculator. Roxanne's calculator, she did it a weird way. It says 600,000, and I was just like,
no, but then you take
wait, what?
You take the 2 last digits off, because that's the decimal.
I
and then
definitely
you put the
didn't
decimal
spend
point there. $6,000.
Maybe she didn't spend $6,000. Maybe you did get a deal because it was so many.
No, I think that's probably right. But I did, maybe, I'm not sure now. But to be fair, right, of the 500, we've only got 380. We had 384 boxes left after Valentine's Day.
That's amazing.
So
that's so good.
So I'm hoping like after Mother's Day, maybe we'll shift a few more.
I'm sure you will. Also,
but at least I don't have to buy envelopes again. Like that's like saving money for future Sasha.
Yeah, that's the one.
It was
That's the
a
one.
very great decision to make, I think. Very great decision.
I would agree. I think it was like the kind of forward thinking that you need to be the world's greatest card shop.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Which you are.
Yeah.
Which obviously we are,
Yeah,
which is a scientific
definitely.
fact.
Yeah.
Oh, it's scientific fact. The figures are there, do you know what I mean? I'm so unorganised, so I've just ordered new prints and then I realised I've not got any packaging left or like anything to put them in, so I've just had to quickly order.
Well, if you ever need some A5 board-backed envelopes, I'm your girl. I did actually think, I was like, I could sell them on, but I don't want to. I quite like them. I quite like my little journey with them.
So they are the packaging envelopes, not the envelopes that the cards come in.
No, they're the packaging envelopes.
Right, okay.
Which
that is a
actually
good
makes it
deal.
more...
If you're looking
Yeah.
at like 10, 12p, that is a
Oh
really
God,
good deal.
yeah. If it's my actual envelopes for the cards, we get them for like 3p or 4p,
Yeah.
depending on what mood he's in. And so then, so that's fine. So actually, every time we get like rid of a box of envelopes, we're not getting rid of like, it's not we've sold 100 cards. It's we've had 100 orders.
And
Yeah.
some people will
that
buy
make
like
sense?
10
Amazing.
cards, for example.
Yeah, because some people will buy like 4 often, but that will all go in. That's only one envelope, if you get what I mean.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I love that.
Love it. Because obviously you work in the family building, sort of like family business situation. Because you obviously want your granddad around to do all the printing in the morning, and you want your grandma around, your nanny around to, you know, help you out, packaging and stuff. Are you going to get a studio for like Cheeky Zebra, like your own office, or are you going to sort of stick where you are? What are you thinking?
So first of all, we need to sell a lot more cards for me to be able to do anything, because I need all these boxes to go. Don't know if you know, but all of my money's tied up in boxes at the moment. What is it when people say, like, I'm not very liquid right now?
Yeah.
So no, I'm not very liquid.
I
But
like
once
that. I've
things
never been
like
liquid.
yeah, same. So once we start moving these boxes, and I become like the organic card shop of dreams, and I sell like 100 a day, which is going to happen. I very much believe this.
Oh yeah.
I don't know, because I think about this all the time. I would love an office that wasn't a death trap. Like, it would just make things a lot easier. Also, sometimes when I'm coming at the office, if Nanny and Nana have got a customer, I've got a customer. So I'll be like coming downstairs, it'll be like, Sash, do the photocopying for this man. I'll be like, right, sure.
Right,
Great.
okay.
Hiya. Yeah, here's your 20p, here's this. And then sometimes like my nanny's like packing cards downstairs with her customers, and her customers are very Indian, so like their clientele is usually Indian, and they're usually women or men over 50. So you imagine that my nanny's just there packing these rude ass cards in front of these people, and then they're like, what's your daughter do? She work at the office? Like, they kind of look at me in a sad way, like, oh, is this like all she's achieved in life? And then my grand's like, no, 1, it's my granddaughter, and 2, she has a very successful business selling the cards. And then I'm like, no, because then they start saying, oh, it's my daughter's like wedding, can you do wedding invitations? I'm like, no, fuck off. And it's just, and then they're like, well, let us see some of the cards. And I'm like, oh my lord. And like, it's fun and games, but like, I go through that like twice a week. It's not a fun experience,
Especially like the wet patch. Imagine.
the wet patch isn't ideal. And like, you also, you know, when they're just looking at it like, is this, you know, that look that another Asian gives it, and like my nanny, and they're just like, this is what your granddaughter's, she's just doing these cards, it's a little hobby. I'm like, oh lord. But they don't know
always think it's a
they
hobby.
they don't know we're TikTok viral.
No.
They don't know,
They don't know
that
who they're
upstairs
speaking to.
there's a whole other world, but they can just see downstairs in this room where I'm the granddaughter who's been forced to make a photocopy for 20p. So I'm like, I get it, but shut up. So I don't know. I think I would like us to have our own space. So yes, but only if Nanny would come, and she would, and I don't know if she'd come. So if she said she wouldn't come, then we'd have to just stay at the office. But if they ever shut their office down, then I'm hoping I'll be allowed like full creative control.
Amazing.
And I could just paint it all orange or something.
Yeah.
And maybe like
yeah.
Granddad would let me like hire a proper electrician. I mean, he wouldn't, but maybe he would.
Maybe you could
I
even
feel
get
like
your
I
own
could-
zebra.
Maybe. We do have a zebra vinyl actually on the wall upstairs.
Oh, love it.
which is quite cute. He lets me like stick things down. I just want to be able to, you know, walk down the stairs without potentially tripping over. Like, he leaves tools everywhere. There's like spanners all over the stairs, and it's just like, it's an actual death trap. And when it was like Valentine's Day, we were lugging sacks up and down. I was covered in bruises. Like, it's actually not a safe working environment. But the thing is, he is like I think he's like 80, and he can get up and down the stairs fine without injuring himself. So like, what can I say?
It's the practice, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just the practice. Eventually, you're gonna be fine.
Keeping him young.
Or I'll have like staff to do that. I think maybe.
Oh yeah. Oh, definitely.
Yeah,
I can see it now.
I do say to
Deborah,
them, I can't wait to have like non-family staff. You know, people who you can actually be like, can you do this, please? And they don't tell you to like. Don't say no, or don't just say something really sassy. Like, whenever I say, Nanny, can you do this? She's like, ooh, someone thinks they're the boss.
But you are.
I'm like, I am.
But I am
She's
Nanny.
like, ooh, bow. I'm like, oh my God, I can't.
Did you just say bow?
Yeah, she says bow. She says her W's with B's, and she likes to say wow a lot. So when she's mocking me, she'll be like, bow.
Oh, I thought
someone
you meant...
thinks they're the boss.
thought
like
you
bow
meant
down
bow
to me.
down
Bow down to her. I just love how she says wow. It really tickles me. She's like, bow.
Oh my God, I love her. I loved her already, but now I love her even more now that I'm hearing these
Yeah.
stories. It's so funny. So before you started Cheeky Zebra, what career was it you're in? I feel like it was finance.
I did law. So I had a law
yeah.
degree. I did law, and then I didn't want to be a lawyer. So then I did my law degree in London, and I fucked around doing like corporate jobs for a bit. So I did like grad schemes for like, I did procurement. So like buying stuff basically for like big companies. So you'd think I'd have like really strong negotiation skills and not just spend £6,000 on envelopes, but we move. And so I did that, and then I moved back to Derby, and I was like, I didn't want to do the procurement stuff. I didn't like the corporate stuff. And I was like, oh, let me just try and use my law degree. So I went, and I was a paralegal, which is like a lawyer's bitch, basically, where you then get a training contract. And I did it for a year. And on my first day, I went home and I was like, yeah, Mum, I'm not going to do this. I'm just going to focus on the cards and I'm going to quit. And literally my first day, I was like, this is not what I want to do.
Sometimes you just know, though, don't you?
Yeah, like I knew so deeply, and it was so funny because I was so good at pretending that wasn't what was going on. So when I did tell everyone I was leaving to set cards up, like they lost their minds. I remember like one of the partners, he was so lovely. He was like this lovely like man in his 60s, and I really looked up to him. He was so kind. But he literally, our boss sent an email around saying, "Hi everyone, Sasha's leaving to sell funny cards on the internet. Full stop." And literally, it was so blunt. He was so blunt. He was like, Sasha's leaving. And so imagine that's the email just that the partner had just received. He marches into my room, comes in and goes, Sasha, my office now. And I was like, oh God. And then I had to go and sit down with this lovely, sweet man. And he was like, what? And then he was like, and then I was like, I sell cards, Paul, like on the internet. He was like, show me. I was like, no. He's like, what's the address? And I was like, ah!
Oh my God. So you'd already been selling them on the side, and then you decided to quit to do full time?
Yeah.
Yeah, right, okay. That's so funny. I bet you didn't want to show him those cards.
I was mortified. Basically, I made a deal with my granddad. I was like, I think I can do it. He goes, it's a bit weird because I know like you shouldn't need, I was like 25 at the time, and I was like, I think I can do it. And then he was like, all right, you can have 1 year. It's like, I would have done it anyway, but it's nicer for me at least to have got his blessing. So he was like, you can have a year to have a go. And he was like, I'll give you £500 a month to live off for 1 year as a loan.
Bless his
And
heart.
he was like, you can have that as a loan. You can have it for 1 year. And if you can't get it to work, then you better go sort out your proper job and a career again, because that's it. And so that was the deal. And thank God I pulled it off. And so then I was able to kind of give him the money back and be like, cool, can we do it? But like knowing that I had like that income come in irrespective was the biggest blessing, because it allowed me to like focus on trying things rather than like worrying each month, like how am I going to like eat and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That's so cool.
Yeah, so like they are incredible, and I'm so lucky. So it's like it's two sides, like they're the best in the world, but also like there is a whole other stressful side that just comes to like having your family involved in anything.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I can't even
Balances
imagine
each
if I
other
had
out
my
there.
family involved in this.
Like, he buys printers all the time that we didn't really ask for, or he'll just like have ideas, or he'll just like print. Sometimes he'll be like, I've decided a new way of printing, so he'll print all the cards backwards, like from codes. So then when we're packing, it's vibes.
So one thing we were saying, weren't we? Roxanne was like, I'd love to know how she came up with the name Cheeky Zebra. Like, where did it come from?
Oh, okay. So the truth is, I saw Moon Pig and Funky Pigeon, and I was like, you just need an animal and an adjective to succeed in cards. So I literally thought that that's what we needed. So I was with my mum, and we literally went through every animal combination we could think of, and turns out lots of them are taken.
Oh,
and because I think I was like, why don't we do blue monkey, or like angry squirrel, or angry I don't think angry squirrel was taken. I just, at that point you're just desperately like putting things into GoDaddy, like what?
Yeah.
And then I think my mum was like, what about zebra, because then like your cards aren't black and white, and I was like, ooh. And then I was like, what about cheeky zebra? And then it was like 3 and then done.
Oh, I love it.
That.
Yeah, I'm really glad that you came up with that, because it's
Well, it's a lot better than angry squirrel, isn't it?
yeah. Sorry, that was the Met.
Oh, was there another tram?
Oh. So I was like this. It wasn't about you. It was about the tram.
Do you guys share a studio?
No, so I'm upstairs
and I'm directly underneath.
Yeah, I've
I
only
love
just
that you guys
moved
have your own
in.
space.
I know.
I
only just
actually
moved
love
in,
it.
So
Yeah,
I'm
I forced
still.
Laura to move out of a spare bedroom because she needed a nudge, a very gentle, aggressive nudge.
Yeah.
But now you glad
I
aren't
did.
you?
I'm getting there, and my cat's actually with me at the minute. He's
Oh my god, no way! You can bring your cat to the studio?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know whether I can, but I've just done it anyway.
She's too kind. She's too kind. I was like, I need to ask permission. I was like, it's easier to ask for forgiveness than permission.
So
that part.
is
Do you know what you guys like? I just love that you've got like your own space. Like I find that like, ooh, because I work a lot in my bedroom or at the office.
Yeah.
And both are very chaotic places. Like my house is quite chaotic, and then the office is like the most chaotic place on the planet. And so I do sometimes find it hard to actually get work done.
Yeah, I find it easier to switch off because this is what I was telling Laura before she moved in. When I was working at home, I would work from when I got up to when I went to sleep. Whereas now I have a studio, like I go to work, I'm in work mode, I get so much done, and then I go home and I don't do anything. If there's stuff that needs to be done, I do it. But the majority of the time I'm able to switch off a lot more, like mentally, but I'm still getting, if anything, I think I get more done in them short hours because I'm being more productive rather than when I'm at home. It's like, oh, Luna needs to go outside, let's go and play with Luna for a bit. That, oh, I'll make myself a cup of tea, and oh, I need to do a washing while I'm home. So then I am working like bits throughout, but I'm not getting as much done as what I wanted to. But I feel like, because I'm working from when I get up to when I go to sleep, it feels like I'm working long hours. So I feel more exhausted, whereas now it's easier to switch off.
I've found that as well since moving in. I've only been in for like 2 weeks or something,
Yeah.
and like I've got like a half painted mural behind me. But I am finding that really good as well. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you guys are definitely making me feel different, like thinking like, yeah, that makes so much sense, because what you've just said I relate to so hardly. The whole like do little bits throughout the day, and then it feels like I'm working all the time, but my output just hasn't been anywhere near what it would have been if it was focused.
Yeah, it just like feels like I'm at work. I'm like, oh, look
Yeah,
at
I
my
love
desk.
that.
Yeah,
I'm at work.
Yeah, and also I live with my boyfriend and my mother-in-law, so it's abled me to get a space that's mine and that's purely mine. So it's kind of like, this is my space, I can paint it how I like, I can decorate, I can buy like cute little rugs and stuff, because obviously the property
only
market
you.
is just nothing, so I'm not moving out anytime soon.
Yeah, smart.
Cannot
Do you know what?
afford to
Just
buy
don't
a house.
ever move. Just legit, same. Let's just never leave our parents' house. I think
Yeah.
that's the new.
I'm in a flat, and it just, any money I make, I'll see you later. It's gone.
Yeah,
Oh,
so yeah,
is it just?
super lucky to be able to like live there, and it's dead chill. But I do like having the studio because it does make me feel a little bit more like an adult, that I have something that I have to work towards.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what? I feel exactly the same. Like, I do wish that I just had a little space, like, that's just my space to be able to just do my stuff and have it how I want. And, like, the office is great, but obviously it's not, I can't just do what I want there.
Yeah.
I can't just like decorate it or like paint it orange or like get rid of the CD racks on the walls. Like, it's just really nice.
And that's it as well. I think a lot of them can be expensive, but if you search for one, like where we are now, I'm paid. So I used to be in a storage place, so I had an office in a storage place. I couldn't paint anything. I had some prints up, but nothing major. And that, I think I was paying like, I had to pay for the internet and all the insurance. I think it was coming up to maybe like $240 to $270 a month. But
that's so much cheaper than what I thought you were going to say.
I won't say it's even cheaper now. I don't pay nowhere near as much as that, and I get Wi-Fi included here, and the insurance is already included in everything. So I pay less than £200 a month for my studio.
So I wonder if it's where you live, because I looked. There isn't. I live in Derby, and there's nothing like this.
Well, there isn't like Manchester. It's because we are in an artist studio, so it's I think it's part government funded, so it's classed as a not-for-profit thing, because
that's awesome.
It allows for, it's got a lot of disabled people and people with learning difficulties as well here, so they get a lot of funding for that. And it also gets funding because it's for starting out artists, so low income households, which I think's really, really nice, because obviously, like, we've had this discussion about money. It might seem like we're earning a lot of money because of our prices being high and stuff like this, but full transparency, in February I think I made like 20 quid, and in March I've not made anything. So it's still like, oh, it's great, like she has a studio and she has like these funky clothes and a really nice studio, but I've got no money.
No, I actually love how transparent you're being. Like, equally, this year, like, I don't know how much we will have cleared, but I've got no money compared to like last year. And like, just even on me, like, no, like all my money's literally in stock and boxes and on a franking machine.
Yeah.
I think it's so easy, like, looking out to just think that things are like a bit more shy. Just because, for instance, say you saw us have all of those orders over Valentine's Day, which we did, like, that doesn't include like the ad spend. Like, it can just look a lot shinier than it is.
Yeah, it can do, and I know what you mean. Outside looking in, it's always like, and that's why we can't compare ourselves. Because I could have been comparing myself to you, and like you could have been comparing. Do you know what I mean? Like, and you just never really know.
But like, I do, like, I see people online all the time. I would have, even before I like knew you guys, I'd look at your stuff and be like, oh, I'm sure they're killing it. They must be killing it. Like, her art's really cool and really good, and like, do you know what I mean? You make assumptions about everybody.
It's different as well, because during the pandemic, obviously it was an awful thing that happened, but it was the best thing that happened to my business, because so many people were starting new businesses. They needed all these big rebrands and big branding projects. I know this client work came in, whereas now everybody's kind of fobbed it all off because they've gone back to work for the 9 to 5. It's kind of a bit of a scarce thing, like the jobs are few and far between, and you're almost like competing for, there's like 10 designers competing for one job,
for one brief.
And people who are starting up these businesses now have kind of clocked on that they can go and ask a few different people for quotes, which is like, I never had that during lockdown, because there was like, all these people are so booked up, I need to get in and I need to book with you.
So we've asked everybody this, haven't we? How do you juggle being self-employed with your own business and a social life and rest? How do you do it, or do you not? Because most people say, I don't.
I'd say, I think overall I do it fairly well. I think if you try and contact me like now, like Mother's Day, Valentine's Day, Christmas, like all my friends kind of just write me off, and they just kind of know, like, also my birthday is like on the 1st of February, which is shit, because obviously it's always like peak Valentine's Day season, so I never really, so it was my 30th this year, and so I didn't really get to celebrate it till afterwards. Thanks. I did it I ended up celebrating my birthday on like the 12th or something, just when our Valentine's Day orders are finished. How do I manage it? Yeah, do you know what? You know how I said before, like, sometimes I feel like I work really, really hard, and then other times I don't work at all?
Yeah.
I would say that's how I manage it. Like, I just, when like it's a quieter season. Yeah, exactly. And I think I just think that my self-discipline's not always great. So, like, I will, because I can get up when I want, in theory-ish, like, I'll go out on a week. I tend to do more on a weeknight, actually. Yeah. Like, I'll go out we'll see is like for dinner or something on a weeknight, and then if I feel like I've done that, then I'll make it up over a weekend. But I think what you've said around like having a designated space and just working when you're in that place would do really, really good for me, because I do find that even when I'm out with friends, I'll quickly check into Instagram and quickly reply to some DMs or a customer query. So I don't think I'm very good at being present with the people I care about.
It's
like,
hard to
fully.
be. It's hard to be. I'm always on Instagram and replying to people and scrolling or doing work or drawing on my iPad while I'm supposed to be sat watching TV having a cuddle with my boyfriend.
But this
And
is
it's
it,
like, you're always on your phone. And I'm like, so are you? And he's like,
Yeah.
you
It's
know.
hard when your hobby transfers into your job, because it's
Yeah.
not your hobby
Yes.
anymore, even though you're so, like, I was so used to drawing just to kind of as like something that's
Nice.
like a wind down,
unwind.
whereas now I'm drawing for work, because if I draw for myself, I feel like it's wasted time and it's wasted content. So now, even though like I'm still like, oh yeah, but I'm drawing, and I'm like, oh, but I'm still working now. So it's it is hard to switch off when it comes to things like that. But yeah,
I definitely struggle with it. But then, like, I don't know, maybe the fact that we've had this conversation, maybe I'll get better at it now.
Well,
Maybe.
it's always good to sort of like have it in the back of your mind, like, I need to rest, because rest is important for, you know, for life in general and for your health.
Once I get Mother's Day out of the way, I want a week. I haven't, you know, that our business, like, the shop's never been shut for, like, it's never been closed. Like, it's open.
Wow.
They've never, like, obviously take weekends off and bank holidays, but it's never been closed. So, like, even over Christmas, we still fulfill orders, even, like, so it's just never been shut. And I would just really like a week off. So I think after Mother's Day, I'm going to just take a week, and I think I'll go away somewhere, and I just want like some space to just think.
That's going to be so nice.
Yeah, I don't even want to go anywhere. Like, are you? Where are you going?
I'm going to Italy in like 3 weeks and I've got no money and I'm really nervous. I'm like, I need to make money right now. It's scary. Moving.
You will.
It'll be amazing for you, but do you think it'll feel a bit scary, like stepping away for a sec? Like,
Yeah, yeah, because also I'm like, well, what will be interesting is, because I've started showing up on my stories every day, is will I actually just take a week off and just not go on my stories for a week?
People will be
And
so
that makes
excited
me
when you
feel-
come back. You'll be like,
Well,
I guess
or they
he's
just won't
back,
care.
bitches.
Guess who's back? And they'll be like, no one knew you were gone. I'll be like, yeah. Woo. No, yeah, I think that's what I need, because I know this sounds really ridiculous, because what do I do? Just go on Instagram. But I do find that sometimes it can be it takes a lot of energy, like mental energy.
Oh, yeah.
Do you find that?
Yeah.
And, like, I love it. I actually love it. Like, what I feel like such a twat saying it. Like, what do you mean? It shouldn't take.
No.
Of course not. And I have so much fun doing it. And I genuinely love like chatting to everyone. But sometimes I just feel like it would be nice to have just a week where I don't document my life.
Yeah, and it's hard to explain to people who don't understand as well, because they see Instagram as this thing where it's just reels or it's just memes and they just look at funny dog videos. Whereas when we're on it, because Instagram is our job, essentially, we're constantly being like, oh, that's a really good sound, let's save that. Oh, that's a good idea, let's save this. So we're constantly on like high alert and we're constantly in work mode.
Yeah.
So that's why I try, when I'm scrolling, I try to scroll on my personal account, because the algorithm is more Instagram-y than my work account, because when it's my work account, that's when I see all of the reels and stuff like that.
Now you've said all that, though, I'm going to go through my account actually and call some of the things that I'm following that aren't making me feel great, because I definitely do experience some of that too.
Yeah.
You've kind of given me a little permission slip just to turn some stuff off, because
Well, that's it. Well, you don't have to necessarily unfollow them. Like, so there's some
mute them,
people
can't
who
you?
I've muted just for now, because I'm like, your content is great, but right now where I'm at mentally, I can't deal with this. But I don't want to completely break up.
I'm not
with
breaking
you.
up with you.
Yeah.
I want to just keep you on the side.
not me, it's
yeah,
you.
No, I hear that.
I mean, not you, it's me. Sorry.
Yeah. The one, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
My brain won't commute which one it is.
So, it's okay if you haven't got 5.
Uh-huh.
What is 5 things that you wish you knew sooner? So we're asking all the guests this. So you don't have to have 5,
Okay.
but it's just an opportunity for you to give some insight and advice, sort of thing.
Number 1 would be show up or start talking on camera. Like, just start talking on camera. I wish I did that. I didn't do it years and years ago because I'd gained weight and I felt uncomfortable with how I looked.
Oh.
And in hindsight, if I'd have just ignored it, because I then went on stories at the same weight, and guess what? It was fine.
Yeah.
Like, the world didn't end. Do you know what I mean? It was fine.
It feels so alien at first, doesn't it, when you're speaking to a camera? It feels so silly, but I think the more you do it...
You feel silly, and then you just get used to it, and it feels like nothing. And do you know what? So that would be my number one. My second would be, I wish I remember or learn earlier not to care. So what I mean is, there's times when my story views will be down to like 300, 400, and there'll be times when my story views are like 1,200, which we had recently, which was nuts to me.
Wow.
And when they were like low, like when they're like 300, which still happens sometimes, I feel really like down about it. And I've learned that in those situations, or what I wish I knew sooner, was to like not feel crap and hide and not go on stories, but just go back to a place of joy. So as long as you just enjoy what you're putting out, and if you do, then it's okay, then you don't need to think about anything else.
Yeah, I remember seeing something actually following on from that about so for me, I used to get quite a lot of views on my stories, whereas now, since I've switched up my content and I'm not super pink and red, my story views have gone down. I think last week I peaked at 40 viewers, so I was like, oh, that's so low compared to what I'm used to. But then I saw something on Instagram where it was like, imagine if you had a shop and 40 people came into your shop at once.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's a lot of people.
I love that.
And that's how I'm thinking, right, 40 people is like a lot of people. If I could see them visually in front of me, these are 40 people who are engaging with my content, and that's amazing.
It is, I love
and
that
that's
so
how
much.
I think of it. That's huge. And I'm going to use that now because it's so helpful. Because it is. Because think about it. Even if it's one person, like one person is showed up for you and is interested in what you have to say and is giving you that time. Like that can't not make you feel grateful.
Yeah.
And so then I just when I find people are like so when if I've got like 200 views, 300 views, I'm feeling a bit meh. I'm just like, no, that's like people. Make sure that you give these people the best time of their life, because like they're giving you their time. Like that's so nice.
Yeah. Like, I think there was like 200 people in my primary school, so that's like a whole primary school.
Yeah. You know how much that is?
So
that's
many
insane.
people.
Now you've said it like that, it's like, what? And I think when you have that attitude, your content's better anyway.
Yeah, because
so
people see
whenever-
that. Yeah, people see it.
I think that's it. Since I've changed my view on it, I think now I'm starting to enjoy it a lot more, and I'm putting less pressure on myself. It comes across as more authentic because it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're just... But it's funny, like, I'm going through a bit of, like, the moment, like, I was getting a bit like, oh, you're like, your views aren't what they were for Valentine's Day. And then I'm like, just have fun, Sash. And when I was doing my live last night, like, there was times where there was only 11 people on the live, and I had the best time, and we still got orders. And it's just like,
but that's 11
it's fine.
people that are just like chilling.
Exactly.
Watching you.
Imagine,
so
I don't. If I had a party, I don't have 11 people to invite.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I don't think I do either.
I was watching this TikTok actually where it was this girl talking about getting married, and she was like, oh, I have like 30 people to invite and the boyfriend has 30 people to invite, and she was like, I don't know 30 people. She was like, my side's going to be so bare. And then I was like, I don't think I even have 10. I don't think I have 10 people that I would want out on my side at my wedding.
Well, maybe all those 10 people have partners, so that doubles it.
There we go.
They can all get a +1.
When you actively need +1. Indian weddings are like so massive. Like normally, like my friends, they'll be like, oh, there's at least 500 people on my side of the family. And I'll be like, me and my other friend will be like, yeah, babes, there's like, we'll be lucky to have 10 each.
Wow, I guess that's a
just
good
funny,
thing
innit?
because it's
Seems
cheaper.
like a lot of pressure to me.
It's just expensive.
Yeah.
It's a lot of expense. Okay, so my third thing would be, I still haven't done this properly, but I wish I tracked my sales. I wish I every month sat down with myself and said, this is how much money you've made this month, and set myself a target for next month, because I used to think targets were stupid and unnecessary, but I realised that was just dumb. And I wish like I've started setting myself selling targets, because then I had something to aim for.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think I need to take that
Because I know they can feel a
advice.
bit intimidating. They can feel a bit intimidating, but I feel like if someone told me, like, if you don't start tracking it, then you don't know what's going on, and it's not a bad thing. It's still happening whether you track it or don't track it. But if you track it, you'll end up making unconscious decisions that help you reach your target.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true, because you're thinking about it, because you're tracking it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, so in the back of my head, I'll be like, oh my, like I don't know, like I want to do 20 orders today organically, or every day organic. If you have that in the back of your mind, you might just naturally be like, oh guys, this is a card that's doing well. Do you know, just things that you wouldn't have thought to like like to remember. So I guess basically somebody also linked to that is number 4 would be like, don't be afraid to sell. Somebody told me like to sell every day, and I was like, what do you mean? And I realized I do sell every day now, and it might sound like, but not in a way where I hope that it's like really wanky and like buy this, buy this, buy
No,
this,
it's
buy
not.
this.
It's not, don't worry.
But I do sell every day in a way that's like, oh, Nanny for Employee of the Month. That's a sell, because it's reminding you that we're a business and she's an employee for the month. Or like, so there's remembering to actually, because I used to just make content about my life and it was just fun. But then I was like, I'm actually here to sell cards. So when I went in with the attitude of try and sell every day, it allowed me to sell more stuff. I didn't lose followers. Nothing bad happened. It was just that, because people probably did want to buy, but they're so busy, it didn't even occur to, if I'm not reminding them that we've got this card out, I'm not helping them to even want to buy from us.
Yeah. There was this study that was done, and I think this is right, but they said that somebody has to see something 8 times on average before they actually buy it.
I read that too, and I think that stays in my head all the time, that 7 thing, because I'm like, let's do it 7 times.
Yeah.
And then, because then I think about also, so that would be that, and then my other thing would be like, when you're panicking, think about how you shop. So, you know, when you're like, oh, they're going to really like hate me and I'm boring them, be like, well, what business do I like? X. Does she really bore me when she talks about products? No. Why do I like it? Because this.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, okay.
We're our own biggest critic, I think, when it comes to stuff like that.
Yeah, and I think people would probably follow me and think like, it's unlikely that I would even be like that, because I'm so sassy and I'm so like, I do believe in what we do. But even I have moments of like, everyone hates me.
Oh, everyone
and your
does.
Brain, your brain's just
syndrome.
like, like your brain's just a big fat liar. So when your brain's like lying to you, it's just really helpful to like think about how you interact with, or for me at least, how I interact with other businesses, and be like, oh, like when I saw like Laura post her prints, what did I think? I thought, oh, like, this was really cool, I want to see how it turns out. I didn't think, oh my god, Laura, why do you keep showing me your prints?
Yeah.
Which is funny, because it's like, that's what I would tell myself. Do you know what I mean?
It's weird, because I feel like you almost view yourself differently. It's almost like, you know, when you say I don't take my own advice, it's a bit like that. Like,
exactly like that.
Everyone's so easy to just judge themselves.
I think women more so than men. I think we have to fight ourselves first.
Wake up every day with the confidence of a 65-year-old straight white male.
I love that.
Yeah, I love that as well. So what number was that one? Number 3?
No.
I think I'm on 5. I think I've done 5.
You done 5?
Hang on.
Oh, it flowed so much that I just absolutely didn't even realise what we were up to.
Yeah, we were 5
I
there.
feel like we've done 5.
Well, even if we haven't, that was absolutely amazing. I love that. I'm going to take those pieces of advice into
I'm going to
my
take what
life.
you guys said into my head too. I'm like, the thing that you said about how many people and like imagine them in a room, that's going to stick with me like that.
That's going to stick with me as well. Thanks so much for telling me that. I'm really excited about that piece of information. Love it. So, thank you so much, Sasha. It has been like one of my favourites ever to film.
I say that every
I say it every time. I'm like, this is going to be the best one ever. But I do believe
Does
it.
she either?
Yeah. I'm hardly ever right. But yeah, no, this has been absolutely amazing, and I've been so excited about this episode for so long. I was like, I messaged you, didn't I? I was like, we need to get Cheeky Zebra on ASAP. I was like, she's gonna be so good, and I just knew you were gonna be amazing. So thank you so much. Thank you for coming on, even though you were hungover as well. Really appreciate that.
Love that for me. Oh wait, can I do my plug thing?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, that's the next bit. You go ahead. Plug yourself.
Okay, cool. So we're the world's greatest card shop. You can find us at www.cheekyzebra.com, but I would highly recommend you find us on Instagram at cheekyzebra.com, but it's spelled like DOTCOM, where you can see all the behind the scenes sweatshop content and see how my nan bullies me.
I love that. I love that so much.